Toyota just did something that should terrify every single car company on the planet. I'm not exaggerating, I'm not being dramatic. The world's largest automaker just revealed a factory system so advanced that a brand new car rolls off the line every 60 seconds, a finished vehicle, every single minute. And that's not even the part that's going to blow your mind. They're building cars that drive themselves through the factory. No conveyor belts, no assembly line. The car literally builds itself and then drives itself to the next station. They've got a machine that can stamp out a third of an entire car body in 3 minutes flat. 3 minutes. Something that used to take 86 parts and 33 separate steps now gets done in one single shot. And they're working on a battery that could give you 745 miles of range and charge in 10 minutes. This isn't just a factory upgrade. This is Toyota declaring war on the future, and nobody is ready for it. This is unseen innovation. Let's get into it. Let's start with the sheer scale of what we're talking about here, because most people have no idea how massive Toyota's operation actually is. Their Georgetown, Kentucky plant is the largest Toyota vehicle manufacturing facility on the planet. 9 million square feet. Let me say that again. 9 million square feet. That's the equivalent of 156 football fields under one roof. It sits on 1,300 acres of land and employs nearly 10,000 people, and those people pump out 550,000 vehicles and over 600,000 engines every single year. A new vehicle rolls off the line roughly every 60 seconds at that plant. 60 seconds. Bro, I can't even make a decent cup of coffee in 60 seconds, and Toyota is building a whole Camry. But here's what makes this factory different from anything else on the planet. It doesn't just build one thing. It builds the Camry, the RAV4 Hybrid, the Lexus ES350, the Lexus 300h, multiple models, multiple powertrains, all on the same line. Your average factory can barely handle 2 models without having a meltdown. Toyota runs 4, at a rate of 1 car per minute, while also building 600,000 engines on the side like it's a hobby. And this plant? It's been running since 1988. That's almost 40 years of continuous improvement. Over 14 million vehicles have rolled out of this one single location. Toyota has invested over $7 billion into it, and they're not slowing down. They just committed $10 billion more across their US operations over the next 5 years. That brings their total American investment to nearly $60 billion. My car took 6 weeks to get delivered from the dealership. Toyota builds one every minute. It's embarrassing. Now you might be wondering, how is this even possible? How does one factory produce a finished car every 60 seconds without the whole thing falling apart? The answer is something called the Toyota Production System, TPS. And it's not just a factory layout, it's a philosophy that changed the entire world of manufacturing. I'm serious. Hospitals use it. Boeing uses it. Even the EPA studied it. Toyota basically invented the playbook that every modern factory on Earth tries to copy. It started back in the 1950s with a guy named Taiichi Ohno. He looked at American supermarkets and thought, what if we ran a car factory like a grocery store? Only make what you need. Only stock what you're about to use. Eliminate every single second of wasted time and every single inch of wasted space. They called it just-in-time production. And then they added something called judoka, automation with a human touch. Every machine on the line has the ability to detect a problem and stop itself. No waiting for a supervisor. No letting a defect slide through. If something is wrong, the line stops. The problem gets fixed, and it never happens again. By 1998, Toyota could build a car in half the time it took GM or Ford, half, while using less space, less inventory, and fewer defects. That's not an advantage, that's domination. But here's the kicker. Everything I just told you, that's the old system. What Toyota is building now makes all of that look like a warm-up. Okay, deep breath, because what Toyota is doing with their next-generation factories is unlike anything the car industry has ever seen. Let's start with gigacasting. If you've heard of Tesla's megacasting, this is Toyota's answer. And honestly, it might be better. Here's how it works. Traditionally, the back end of a car's body is built from 86 separate sheet metal parts assembled across 33 different steps. It takes hours. Toyota's new gigacasting machine takes molten aluminum heated to 700 degrees Celsius, injects it into a massive mold, cools it down to 250 degrees, and spits out a single solid piece that replaces all 86 parts in 3 minutes. Let me repeat that, 3 minutes. For a third of the entire car body. One piece. No welding, no riveting, no bolting 86 things together and praying nothing squeaks. Just one perfect casting. And they're not stopping at the back. Toyota's next-gen EV platform splits the car into 3 modular sections: front, center, and rear. The front and rear get gigacast. The center holds the battery. Snap them together. Done. But here's where Toyota one-ups everybody. Swapping out the molds in a gigacasting machine normally takes 24 hours. These molds weigh over 100 tons. It's a nightmare. Toyota figured out how to split the mold into 2 types: a general-purpose mold that stays in the machine and a smaller model-specific mold that pops in and out. Mold change time, 20 minutes, down from 24 hours. That's insane. Why does that matter? Because it means Toyota can run different car models through the same gigacasting machine without shutting the whole thing down for a day. Flexibility plus speed. That's Toyota's entire DNA cranked up to 11. But gigacasting isn't even the wildest part, because Toyota is also killing the assembly line. The actual assembly line. The thing that Henry Ford invented in 1913. Gone. They're replacing it with what they call a self-propelled production line. Here's how it works. Once a car gets its motor, battery, and tires installed, it doesn't sit on a conveyor belt anymore. It drives itself. The car uses sensors and cameras developed from Toyota's autonomous driving tech to crawl through the factory at 0.22 miles per hour. Robot arms swing in and install seats. Automated guided vehicles bring parts. The car moves itself to the next station when it's ready. No conveyor, no belt, no fixed layout bolted to the floor. Do you understand what that means? It means Toyota can rearrange their entire factory layout whenever they want. New model? Move some stuff around. New process? Reconfigure overnight. With a traditional conveyor system, changing the layout takes years and costs billions of yen. With this system, weeks. They've already tested it at the Motomachi plant in Japan. The cars roll through without a roof, so robots can lower seats and components straight in from above. When the car is done, it drives itself to the inspection area. Bro, the car is literally building itself and then parking itself. Meanwhile, my car can't even parallel park without having a panic attack. Toyota says this system eliminates the need for conveyor equipment entirely. That saves billions in capital investment, and it cuts the time needed to switch to a new model from years down to months. Okay, so we've got the world's biggest factory pumping out a car every 60 seconds. We've got gigacasting that builds a third of a car body in 3 minutes. We've got self-driving assembly lines with no conveyor belts. But Toyota isn't done. Not even close. Let's talk batteries, because this is where things get really scary for the competition. Toyota just opened a $14 billion battery megaplant in Liberty, North Carolina. 7 million square feet, 1,850 acres, up to 5,100 new jobs, 14 battery production lines, 4 for hybrids, 10 for EVs and plug-in hybrids. This one facility can produce 30 gigawatt-hours of batteries annually at full capacity, and it's their first and only battery plant outside of Japan. But that's just the lithium-ion stuff. The real bomb Toyota is building is the solid-state battery. They've been working on this for over a decade. They hold more than 1,000 solid-state battery patents globally. And in October 2025, the Japanese government officially approved Toyota's solid-state battery for production. Mass production starts in 2026, with the first solid-state powered vehicles hitting the road in 2027 under the Lexus brand. Here's what this battery can do. First generation, 621 miles of range, charge from 10% to 80% in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Second generation, 745 miles. Let me say that again. 745 miles on a single charge. Bro, 745 miles. I can't drive 745 miles without stopping 3 times for gas, 2 bathroom breaks, and a questionable gas station hot dog. And this car does it on 1 charge, charged in the time it takes to scroll through your phone at a rest stop. The energy density of these solid-state cells hits 450 to 500 watt-hours per kilogram. That's more than double what current lithium-ion batteries deliver, and the battery lasts over 15 years with more than 90% capacity retained after 2,000 cycles. That's not an improvement, that's a whole different technology. It makes every current EV battery on the market look like a science fair project. Let's zoom out and look at the big picture, because the numbers Toyota is putting up right now are absolutely staggering. Toyota sold over 10 million vehicles globally in 2024. They pulled in $287 billion in revenue. They employ nearly 48,000 people in the US alone across 11 manufacturing plants. They've committed $60 billion in total US investment since they started here. And their production target for 2026? Over 10 million vehicles worldwide. Again, they're not just the world's biggest automaker, they're the world's most efficient automaker. And now they're combining that efficiency with next-gen technology that could cut their production time in half and their factory investment in half. Toyota's chief production officer, Kazuaki Shingo, said it himself. The goal is to halve the number of processes, halve plant investment, and halve production preparation lead times. 50% cuts across the board, on top of a system that already builds a car every 60 seconds. If they pull this off, the math is devastating for everybody else. GM can't match it, Ford can't match it, and the EV startups burning cash by the billions, they don't stand a chance in a cost war against this. Now here's where I'm going to be real with you, because you deserve the full picture. That 60-second car from the title, it's real. Toyota's Texas plant genuinely rolls a new Tundra or Sequoia off the line every 60 seconds. That part is verified, documented, and absolutely insane. But some of the crazier stuff we talked about today, the gigacasting, the self-propelled lines, the solid-state batteries, a lot of that is still in prototype or early production phase. Toyota has been promising solid-state batteries since 2020. The date keeps moving. First, it was 2023, then 2025. Now it's 2027 or 2028 for vehicles. And their next-gen EV platform that uses all this new tech, it's been delayed. The first Lexus model built on it got pushed from 2026 to mid-2027. Does that mean it's not coming? No. Toyota has the money, the patents, and the manufacturing DNA to make this happen. They've spent decades perfecting production in ways nobody else can touch. But is there a gap between the hype and where they are right now? Yeah, there is. That said, if even half of what Toyota is building comes together the way they're planning it, the car industry is looking at a seismic shift. We're talking about the company that invented modern manufacturing, reinventing it all over again. And that's not a rumor, that's a pattern. So be honest with me. Does this make you more excited about Toyota's future, or are you skeptical they can actually deliver on all these promises? Drop your take in the comments. Smash that like button if this video blew your mind even a little. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the factories and tech that are reshaping the entire car industry. We're just getting started. I'm out. Peace.